Good morning. I'd like to call to order today's Town of Hempstead IDA meeting. We have a quorum. Would everybody please rise and join me in the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a minute. Just I'd like to say that recognize the passing of Jill Molitor's mom and Jack Micah's mom. If we could just take a moment. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'd like to open the floor up to any public comment to any agenda items. If not, we'll move on to new business. Village of Freeport, none. Village of Hempstead, none. New business, consideration of an authorizing resolution for the Hillcrest of Floral Park LLC, Covert Avenue Floral Park.
Good morning. My name is John Gordon, here for the applicant Hillcrest of Floral Park LLC. I'm of Fort Celli, Deegan, Tirana in Uniondale. Today we're here for a vote for an authorizing resolution. We had the public hearing at the village. Comments were addressed. This has already received an inducement from the board. So you're familiar with this project, but I'll go over some of the details. It's a 36,000 square foot mixed use new development on Covert Avenue in Floral Park. It's a 0.4 acre site. It's currently vacant. It was formerly improved by a row of retail establishments which were destroyed by a fire in 2020. The applicant subsequently acquired the site, proposed this project to the village. The village is supportive of the project, granted site plan approval. The project is 2 stories, 12 apartments, which is a mix of 10 one-bedrooms and 2 two-bedrooms. On the first floor, there's going to be parking in the rear, and on the front, around 6,700 square feet of commercial space. The intent is to replace the businesses which were lost in that prior fire with either some of the same tenants coming back possibly, or new businesses. This is less than a half mile from the Stewart Manor Long Island Railroad Station and around a mile from the Floral Park Station. So this is transit-oriented development. The as-built taxes are approximately $144,000. So that's around $8,000 per unit. Paying full taxes day one, it just does not pencil out. The pilot is necessary in order to make this financially feasible. We're anticipating a minimum of 4 full-time equivalent jobs after completion and 15 construction jobs. This will restore the business activity to the Covert Avenue corridor and obviously bring transit-oriented development to Long Island, which has a much publicized need for that. The pilot schedule is a 20-year pilot schedule, phasing in the taxes. The taxes, the pilot payments go up to $175,000 in year 20. This is a total net benefit, according to the Camoin report, of over $238,000 just from the pilot alone. This time I'd like to ask if there are any questions. I have my client, Dean Hatzidakis, here with me.
Did have one question. Covert Avenue traditionally struggles with parking, especially on weekends. My understanding from the proposal is going to be 12 units in the 12 residential units above the commercial space, correct?
That's correct.
So what is there, I believe there's supposed to be parking according to the plan behind the new, I guess it's covered and behind the first floor of the new development. How many
That's correct.
spots would that be?
I believe there are 20 spaces.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. For the residential, okay.
And that was a question that was asked also at the public hearing by
Correct.
one of the members from the public. And when the village approved the project, the prior use, it was all commercial on the first floor, and there
Right.
was no parking behind. So to the extent that there was traffic from the commercial, it's going to be the same. And the village deemed the 20 spaces to be sufficient for the 12 units for the
So my one
residential.
question was, those spaces that are behind, those are gonna be reserved for the individuals in the units, so it's exclusively for the residential? Okay, great, thank you.
Sorry, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford? Aye. Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Flo Girardi's an aye. Mr. Kornbluth?
Aye.
And Ms. Molitor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, consideration of an authorizing resolution for Promenade 360, 368 West Merrick Road, Valley Stream.
believe the client's out of the country. We had a public hearing. It was very quiet. We have the minutes in the packet as well as the video online. I don't really have much to report, but we have some questions. Yes. It's 15 apartments, just for the record. For the most part, there should be no impact on the school district, which is always a concern of ours. So we be respectful of their needs. Of the 15, one is there's one studio 9, one bedrooms, and there are 5 that have 2 bedrooms. So de minimis impact on the school district. And we got nothing but positives here. Okay, so
The village is for it.
yes.
Any questions from the board? I'll make the motion, I'll get a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bedford, I'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford?
Aye.
Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Flo Girardi's an aye. Mr. Kornbluth?
Aye.
And Ms. Molitor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Next item on the agenda, consideration of an inducement resolution for B2K at Lynbrook, Freer Street, Lynbrook.
Good morning, Peter Curry, Farrell Fritz, 400 RXR Plaza, Uniondale, New York. With me is Stephen Krieger. Stephen is a principal of B2K Development, and I want to thank the board for considering this application today. This is a project called B2K at Lynbrook. The applicant is seeking to acquire a 1+ acre parcel of land located at 8 Freer Street in the village of Lynbrook that is improved by a approximately 90,000 square foot senior living facility known as the Bristol at Lynbrook. Property is currently owned by an entity in which the principals of B2K have a small minority interest. The applicant will invest significantly in improvements and upgrades to the facility, and the Bristol at Lynbrook will continue to operate at the property. The acquisition contract is specifically subject to the agency's authorizing resolution. This applicant is affiliated with B2K Development, as I said. That is the successor entity to the Engel-Berman Group, and I would like Steve to come on up and discuss a little bit about the experience of the developer, how long the company's been operating, and name a couple of the projects it's been involved with.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you for having us this morning. I'm Steve Krieger. I'm one of the co-founders of the predecessor company called Engel-Berman, which is now called B2K Development. In 1999, we came to this board and asked for IDA assistance to build the first Bristol's assisted living community on Long Island in East Meadow. And this board was had the foresight, and the town of Hempstead, IDA had the foresight to approve, I think, one of the first assisted living communities in the state of New York. And ever since then, we've gone to numerous IDAs throughout the state, in Nassau County, Suffolk County, Brookhaven, and as well as Westchester. And we've built, a large chain of assisted living communities, all single-purpose entities, but all those entities today, as a result of this IDA, we have over 3,000 collective employees, and they're all employed. Each one of those is employed by each one of those Bristols, So we're here today, to get some assistance in Lynbrook. One of the things that we found about, our buildings is it's a very local business, and 80% of the residents that move into the Bristol and live in the Bristol and Lynbrook come from within 2 to 3 miles of that community. So we're providing a service to the local residents. In addition to that, we employ, and we will covenant to employ 68 employees at the Bristol of Lynbrook. So we're here today, to get some assistance, to continue to do what we do. It's been a rough road since COVID in the assisted living business, a really rough road. Costs have gone up, labor's gone up, cost of goods has gone up. Interest rates, believe it or not, have almost tripled. So we're here for some assistance, and we appreciate whatever you can do for us today. So, Peter, I don't know if there's anything else you want me to talk about. Okay, thank you.
So when we discuss 68 full-time employees, that's exclusive of the management arm that B2K has. There is a management arm called Ultimate Care that manages all of the communities. We do not count those employees in the 68, so the 68 are just the ones who operate from the facility itself. And as you know, Bristol has a reputation for first-class care services. They're pretty much the Cadillac of the industry. This applicant will perform interior renovations and upgrades to the facility, and upgrades to all of the individual units. However, they will not move anybody during that period. They'll work it out around the residents. They understand that it could be disruptive to be moved around, so that will not happen. So the assistance of the agency will allow this company to reduce operating costs from what they are right now. As a consequence of that, it will commit to set aside 20% of the units for individuals whose income is 50% or less of the area median income. This is a significant commitment. Since this project was no longer an IDA project, it was now a market rent project. As a consequence of coming to the agency, we're going to commit to affordable rents for 20% of the population. The company is going to invest over $5 million in these interior improvements, and I understand that the board has received a Comoin report as part of its materials, which has indicated the economic impact of the construction of the project. Since it is an operating project, they didn't do operating income, but construction income, it would be more than $6 million to the town of Hempstead specifically. And the project is anticipated to have 5 construction jobs. Again, because of the way this is going to happen, they'll work around the residents, so the common areas can happen quickly, but the residents will not be disturbed. The total project costs are approximately $35 million. In connection with this application, we are asking that the agency agree to tax-exempt bond financing. With the agency would be the issuer. I know the agency has a volume cap that it can allocate to this project if it's not being used for other ones. We're also asking for a pilot and mortgage tax and sales tax abatements. At this time, I'd like to open it up to any questions that the board may have.
All right, Mr. Curry, so you're not relocating any of the residents. What percentage are you full at this point?
About 70. Between 70 and 80.
Mr. Parola, could you just go into detail about the bond financing? I'm a little confused on that one.
Bonds, obviously, are going to go, we can extend the loan, and it's from the developer's
standpoint, an attractive way to fund the project. They're viable, the need is great.
I have a question, a follow-up
Is
for
that okay? Is that what you're looking for?
Attorney Curry. What's the 70 or 80%, or people?
70 to 80% of the rooms are occupied.
That's it?
That's it, right now, yes. Yeah, I mean, COVID has been a big issue with assisted living facilities, and they're starting to come back, but there's difficulty also in hiring personnel. So between all these things, the rate of occupancy has been much lower than it traditionally was. Steve's indicating it's a little closer to 80 at this stage of the game, but as he also said, it moves up and down.
May I ask a question? Oops, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, no.
Is it Krieger? May I? Excuse me. So I happen to have a relative in assisted living, not your place, but it's like, the waiting list is really long, and I also know that getting people to go work in these places is really, really tough. Can you attribute, because we're past COVID now, for the most part, but where were you at with why such a low number?
So, pre-COVID, our average occupancy above the board, above the portfolio, was in the 90s. Okay, after COVID and during COVID, the average occupancy went down to 60%. And the reason it went down to 60% was because not only did we lose people, I don't know if you remember, the governor, had a rule that if you had COVID, you had to go back into the buildings. And when we had someone with COVID in the buildings, the New York State Department of Health shut us down. We couldn't have anybody come and tour the buildings. We couldn't have family members come and visit the buildings, right? There were all these edicts at that time. So people were essentially locked in their rooms, right? We had no one coming down to the common areas. We had people, we were serving meals every day to everybody's room from the hallway. We had entertainers. We had entertainment outside in the better weather, outside the building. We would ask people to open up their windows so we could have, people play music for them and so on and so forth. So as a result of that, no one wanted to put their family members in an assisted living community. We got to a point where, we had a whole marketing team, but they weren't able to even see anybody, right? They weren't able to tour anybody. They weren't able to bring anybody through the building. As a result of that, people got used to keeping their family members and taking care of their family members longer. So we went into this business, when we first opened up the first Bristol, the average age of the resident was 82 years old. The average age of someone moving into one of our communities today is 88 years old. So what's happening is family members are deciding to keep their loved ones in their homes longer. And as a result of that, occupancy's been down, and we've had, it's been a little bit of a challenge to convince people that, we're a social model, right? We take care of people, and I can't tell you how many people come up to me and say to me all the time, "You saved my mom's life, you saved my dad's life." They sat in their apartment all by themselves. They sat in their house all by themselves. They had no socialization. And now, people are realizing, it's not just, it's about people coming out and getting to be with other people and meeting other people and talking with other people and being with other people, So that's what happened.
Thank you. And just one more clarification. What's the total number of occupants today? In that building?
If I sit down, I can look at my computer and tell you. I can look on my census and tell you. I can look it up.
That's okay. I'll go with you, 70 to 80%. Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, I'd like to make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Kornbluth. I'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford?
Aye.
Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Lo Girardi is an aye. Mr. Kornbluth?
Aye.
And Ms. Malapan?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda. Thank you. Consideration of an amended lease agreement for Green Acres adjacent, West Sunrise Highway, Valley Stream.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Daniel Baker, Greenberg Traurig.
Morning.
900 Stewart Avenue, Garden City. Good morning, nice to see you all. Just a quick roundup on where we are with this matter. As the board is fully aware, last month you consented to a continuation in the neighboring property, Valley Stream Green Acres LLC, which we all know is the Green Acres Mall. This property is the adjacent property, hence the name Green Acres Adjacent, which is the Commons. Just a quick history, the board authorized benefits for both of these properties nearly 10 years ago. It's about 8 years ago now. And as part of both approvals, the pilot was a 15-year pilot that was split into a 10-year initial period, and then the ability to continue for another 5 years at the applicant's request with the board's consent. The pilot schedules were both laid out at that time. They were both incorporated into both agreements, so there was no request at this time for any benefit beyond what was already approved. The bottom line is they're seeking a continuation of the full 15 years, so the additional 5 on top of the 10 that is set to expire in 2 years. In addition, we're also requesting an amendment to the agreements with regard to full-time equivalent job numbers. At the time of the original authorization, there was a projection of jobs based on the square footage of the property and what was contemplated to be built. As it turns out, originally in the application and as the applicant had thought, there was going to be 383,965 square feet of gross buildable area. As it turns out, through development and what they foresaw as making this property work, the GBA that ultimately built was only 335,828 square feet. So that was a 13% decrease in what was originally contemplated. We are requesting that the same 13% be applied to the FTE calculation. As a result of this decreased square footage, the reality is there just aren't as many jobs that could be created for the space. So with that, I would just conclude in saying that both this property and the mall, which was given the consent last month, I would say certainly, and I think through discussions I've had with staff council and other officials here at the town of Hempstead, these were great deals. They turned out to be incredible projects that could not have gotten to where they are today without the benefits from the IDA, partnering with the developer to not only take the Green Acres Mall, which was in a serious downslide 8 to 10 years ago, but the Commons property, which is the subject of today's application, which was previously a movie theater that had a less than stellar history. It was going nowhere. Now it is a thriving retail shopping center in a time when we know malls across the country are going dark. They are failing. They are not doing well. But these two properties are thriving. And certainly in discussions with my client, they see these as really some of the best properties in their portfolio across the country. They want to continue that. So with that, we are asking that the board consent to the continuation of the pilot and the amendment of the FTE calculation.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford?
Aye.
Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Flo Girardi's an aye. Mr. Kornbluth?
Aye.
And Ms. Molitor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you.
Thank you all. Good to see everybody.
Okay, next item, under new business, the CEO's report.
So this month, the major changes are Rock 50 finally closed, and so did Centennial on May 7th. So other than that, there were updates throughout the report. Nothing new this month. It will be next month. That is new projects.
Okay,
Happy
no,
to answer any questions.
no comments, questions? Next item, introduction to Barclay Damon LLP.
We're going to
who
table it,
the-
Mr. Chairman.
we're
There
gonna
was an
ta-
accident. The representative could not be present.
Okay, what if they come later? Oh, okay.
Well, we can, yeah, I mean, you can reopen.
Okay. Do I have to make a motion to table it? Or you want to just?
We don't need a motion, we chair.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, consideration of the agency bylaws.
Good morning. The bylaws were amended by the governance committee last month. There are some additions and deletions, basically meant to kind of clean up the document and make it more accurately reflect the roles of agency staff. So it's there for your review. It was approved by the governance committee. You can let me know if you have any questions.
No questions? I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, consideration of the travel policy.
This policy is, there was no change. It was adopted by the governance committee.
No questions?
So move.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item, consideration of the retail policy.
There was a minor change on the retail policy. I think we removed there was something in there about bond transactions. We just removed that. We don't do those any longer. The LDC does those.
Any questions? I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bedford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Consideration of the recapture termination policy.
There was no change to this policy. It was adopted by the governance committee and is presented to you today.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Consideration of the fee schedule.
Same thing, it hasn't changed since the last time it was adopted, and it was re-adopted by the governance committee last month.
Okay, no questions. I'll make the motion. Second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Consideration of the code of conduct whistleblower policy. Laura, I'm sorry. Okay, no questions? Any questions? I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Kornbluth. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Consideration of the time and leave policy.
Time and leave also, there was no change to that policy. And it was adopted by the time and leave last month.
Any questions? All in favor, say, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second by the Reverend. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item, I would like to go into executive session for a couple of minutes to discuss. I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Second by the Reverend. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Good morning, Paul. How are you? Good, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, in the matter of the employee handbook, I would like to make a motion to table it.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda. Find the agenda. Okay, old business. Discussion and consideration of a trust account for post-retirement health insurance benefits, which was tabled from February.
Yes, we've been working with two different consulting firms to try to put together a sort of plan. We were hoping to have at least one of those yesterday. We did not receive it, but the start of the process is once we get that work plan from the consultant, they'll lay out the timing and the cost of setting up what we believe will be a sort of captive insurance company that will accept this risk. We will present that to the IPA staff, discuss costs, timeline, next steps, and hopefully then be able to bring it back to the board. We have been in discussion with both consultants. We're just waiting for the proposals.
So you're saying this has to be an insured account, correct?
Yes, there'll be a captive insurance company that will just insure this risk for the town.
And who pays the premium for that, the town or?
The town has that idea to pay.
Okay, so that's an additional payment, right?
So you're already making the payment now.
Right.
To the account. In this instance, the payment will go directly to this separate entity.
Right.
There will be ongoing, there'll be an upfront setup cost, and there will be an ongoing annual fee as well to maintain, regulatory filings and everything else with this governing.
Right, okay. Any questions, board? Thank you, Barry. Okay, next item on the agenda, consideration and adoption of the minutes of April 16, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we waive the reading of the previous minutes and adopt the minutes of April 16, 2024.
I make the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
I'll
Report of
second
the
it.
treasurer, financial statement expenditure list from April to May 14, 2024.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, all is, looks in order, and I want to commend the committee once again for doing a great job.
Thank you, Reverend. Okay, we had no committee meetings, and I'd like to make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, I'd like to open today's Town Hempstead LDC. We have a quorum. Okay, there's nobody in the public here. All right, new business, readoption of the Code of Conduct whistleblower policy. Same as the IDA.
So move.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Readoption of the LDC bylaws.
There was no change.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Readoption of the travel policy.
No change.
I'll make the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Readoption of the LDC fee schedule.
No change.
I'll make the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Ayes have it. Okay, consideration and approval of the minutes of March 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we, let's see, I forgot the wording of it already. You waive the reading of the previous minutes and adopt the minutes of March 19, 2024.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Report of the treasurer.
Again, Mr. Chairman, all looks in order, and I want to thank the committee for doing a great job.
Okay, committee updates. There was no committee meeting, so I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.